Alright, what's going on, y'all? It is your boy Velly. Two Eyes, back with another video, and today we have my very first story time for you guys. And so it's gonna get a little dark. It has a happy ending, but it gets really dark. But before I say that, I have to tell you guys, these are the stats when it comes to my subscriber view like ratio or whatever. It's like 80% of you guys aren't even subbed. What are we doing here, guys? Please, if you enjoyed the content, leave a like and a subscription by the end of the video if you enjoyed this, if you are new to the channel. But also, I have to get into my Instagram shout out. So these are all the new people who have followed me as of recent on IG. I love you guys so much. Look at all these beautiful faces. Yep, I'm gonna start doing the Instagram shout outs in the beginning of the videos. So I gotta follow the fan pages. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for supporting me on Instagram. I love you guys so much. You guys are the best. But yes, if you guys want to be featured in intros like these, just follow me at Instagram at ImVellyy, and I will show you just like so. Let's get to 1.1K, guys. I want to eventually get to 2K, 3K, 5K, 10K. Let's go, guys. Let's go. But let's dive into the intro and get into my very first story time. See you guys.
Shoes on the fucking road. Whoa, 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 whoa. Killing competition, doing shows on the fucking road. Killing competition, doing shows on the fucking road. Killing competition, doing shows on the fucking road. Hey, on the fucking road. Hey, on the fucking road. Nigga, you know what we finna do. Hey, whoa. Be gone.
All right, so around in 2019, I was still only a smoker, like strictly only smoking. And before I started smoking, I was strictly straight edge, no drinking, no smoking until I turned 18. And then yeah, I smoked for the first time and I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. I'd been drunk before I turned 18, and I didn't like it at all. I said, okay, I don't like drinking at all. I will never do this. But eventually I came around and started drinking last year. But that has nothing to do with this time period, because around this time period, I did not like drinking at all. I didn't. I'd only drink a little bit with my ex. And I'll bring her into the overall story in a bit. But yeah, so 2019, I'm only a weed smoker. I don't drink. I don't, of course, don't do any fucking pills or anything like that. Haven't even thought of it. Okay. I meet my ex before we're together, and I believe that she's a really good person. Like, she comes off very generous. She comes off very like straightforward and honest. She came off as a very great person in like my first time meeting her. My guys, you cannot base everything off of first impressions. I know that you really want to, and you will go back to it and be like, oh, but she did this and it was good, and that overlaps this bad shit that she did. No, 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 no. I don't care if it's a man, woman. I don't care. If they give you that fucking strike, you warn them. If you do it again, if you cross this line again, no matter what your line is, depending on the relationship or whatever you guys got going on, if you cross this line, it's over. Usually when you do that, the person restrains from crossing the line and it ends up working a little more, or the person just fucking gives up. and crosses it again and doesn't believe you and tries to apologize. She was that person who would cross the line all the time and try to apologize and think that just because I am a kind person, a kind-hearted person, she tried to take advantage of me in every fucking way. And she would always try to get me to buy her fucking drugs. Xans, perks, X, everything. She would try to have me buy it because of my popularity around the streets where we were at the time, okay? I wasn't popular on YouTube in 2019. I only had like 2K subs. I wasn't active at all. The 2K subs came from NBA 2K17. And that's where I would grind basketball games and earn subs off of that. My personality really got me successful on that. But my point being, in 2019, my popularity was nothing. I was literally absolutely nothing. I did not know any of you guys. I was not making any reaction videos except for the Rogue One reaction video I have on here. If you guys have seen it, that is pretty, I love that video. It's one of my favorite videos. But yes, I had no popularity. So she tried, no popularity on the internet, but around, like, locally, I'm one of the most popular people in Rogers Park. That's an area in Chicago. People know me. And if they say they don't, I don't know them. That's the thing, okay? I don't fucking know them, okay? I'm not in Rogers Park anymore. I actually live out south now, out south Chicago. But yeah, the point being is she wanted to use me for my popularity to get her drugs. That's what it felt like, okay? So let's fast forward to me actually getting her comfortable with retrieving her drugs sometimes and being like, asking my dealer like, hey, you got some Xans on you, some perk? He'd be like, yeah, da 30 more for the perk, 10 more for the Xan, 5 more for the Xan or whatever. And I throw it to him and I give it to my girl. And she'd be really happy about that shit. And when I couldn't, she'd be actually really upset. So that should have been like a trigger in my head. Like I already know how some people deal with addictions, but she was very in denial when it came to being addicted to pills. This girl, if she had 4 perks in one night, she's likely popping 3 of them that night and saving the other one for like tomorrow night or something to try to even it out. I'm trying to tell you guys, it was a slow manipulation with her, man. She manipulated me slow and patiently. Fast forward to my first time trying this shit, okay? My first time trying a pill was with her, and it was at her house. And it was an X pill, and it was an X pill that she retrieved. No. I retrieved them both. And I said, okay, if you're going to do it, then I'm going to do it. I don't give no fuck. Because it was around the time I was getting into Cardi, Playboy Cardi. I didn't give no fuck. I was super depressed already. I was already, like, if you're depressed and you get into, like, drugs or weed or drinking, the odds of you being addicted to it are very high, because when you get into this state after you're not sober, you're kind of escaping those emotions. And I was depressed. That first time being off the X, it's actually a really funny story. I couldn't get up. Like, I couldn't get up. I couldn't get up, guys. I couldn't get up. It was the worst fucking sex experience I've ever, by far, ever have had. My dick was limper than a fucking... Bro, my dick was limper than how Trump be walking. He know how he walk with a limp? My shit was more limp than that. Nigga, my shit was limp. Alright, let me just continue on. Fast forward, okay? I tried X and then... Alright, I tried X and I was like, does every pill turn you off? Like, does every pill make you soft? And she's like, no, perk 30s don't do that. Xans don't do that, for the most people I've heard of. So I'm like, okay, I'll try a Xan next time. And I tried half of one. And I forget where we were because it is very hard to remember when you're off of a Xan. I'm trying to tell you guys. It's going to be hard, like, describing, like, the stories when I'm high off of the Xan because I don't remember a thing, my nigga. I swear to God, it's so hard, dude. But my first time, I'm not sure. I really am not. I think I was at her house again, and I tried it that time. I'm not sure where the hell I tried it for the first time, to be honest. That shit is such a blur when you take that shit. It's worse than being drunk. Like, when you're drunk, like, you remember things as people remind you, okay? But when you're off of a Xan, it's like you're dead. You're dead while you're off of that shit. You don't remember a fucking breath. I'm trying to tell you guys. You don't remember a fucking thing, especially if you take a full one, okay? I don't remember my first time taking it, but I remember my first time being like, okay, that was just half. I want to try a full one to see how that is. And then, long story short, I just ended up, I was pretending like I didn't want to do it around her. I'd be like, I don't want to do this shit. And she'd be like, oh, okay, more for me. And then I'd be like, oh my God, dude. Like, shit like that. I don't know. I'm very protective of my ladies. And I don't mean ladies as a plural thing. I mean, like, one at a time. What lady I have. I'm very overprotective. So when she says shit like that, it really turned me off. And I'm like, I don't want to see her get hurt over this shit. But she's basically the one that, not manipulated me. Like, this isn't the manipulation part. She started manipulating me a little later. This is the part where I was getting into it, like, for the most part on my own. But just being influenced by her. That's a better word to say it around this time. And yeah, I remember trying a full one and just being, I don't remember anything from it, dude. I'm sorry, dude. I don't remember anything. I wish I could tell you guys like the X story, but I don't remember a fucking thing, dude. But I remember when I'm depressed and I'm at home and I only have weed. I remember those days being so hard on myself. Like, I need another one, dude. I don't want to be here. I was just running away from my problems. I had so many problems. I had to pay bills. I had to get fancy shit together. I had to make sure she's good and everybody in the house is comfortable with her. I had to fucking go to work every fucking day, at least 5 days out of the week, working a fucking fast food, fucking stupid ass fucking restaurant. I had to do a bunch of shit. I had to worry about my girl, my ex. I had to worry about her, and she lives across the fucking city. Dude, it was fucking rough on me. And I just remember being like, I just want to escape again. I don't need her. I don't need her. I can do this by myself. And, oh man, dude. I just remember, like, the thing about Xanax is you will take that shit, you're dead while you're on it. I don't care what nobody says. You're dead. Like, you don't feel anything. You're gone. And then when you come back, you're this fucking demon. Like, me at least. I was so mean. I did not like anything. I was like, dude, if I'm not high right now, I was just so over it. Oh, and one more thing. You guys know one of my best friends, my brother, Chico. He's been on the channel a bunch of times. My friend Chico. If you go to, like, collab reactions I have on my channel, like the X video, he's the one with the wife beater on. Not the wife beater, the fucking tank top on. He was the first person to, like, snap me out of it, like, nigga, what are you doing? Because, nigga, we were in high school. We both were straight edge. So when he's coming, he's like, nigga, you're taking Xans? And, like, it didn't start off like that. At first, he's like, okay. Like, when I told him I took my first one, he was like, okay. And, like, at the time, of course, I'm going to be like, nigga, I'm not going to be addicted. I'm not addicted to anything, my nigga. And he's just like, okay. He can't say anything right there because I'm a grown-ass man, okay? But when it was one time, it's so blurry to be in order with these stories because I don't remember. This is the only experience I remember off of a Xan. And it's literally only because Chico, my friend Chico, okay? This is my fucking best friend, brother, whatever the fuck you want to call it, because he was the only one that helped me out that night. Okay, so I was with her best friend and her best friend's kids, okay? She gave me the pill prior to us meeting her best friend, okay? And we're all the way by her house across the city, okay? It's getting late and the high is starting to kick in because we took it at around 7 and it's getting on 9, okay? So the high has no, it was around 8 when we took it and it's getting on 9. Okay, so the high is fucking storming right now. And then I just remember calling Chico and being like, because I know Chico had me because he had the wheels. It was our first time seeing each other, me and Chico hanging out in like 4 years. Like, mind you, this is somebody I talk to every fucking day almost. And we haven't seen each other in like 4 years, but we still contacted each other almost every day. We graduated high school together. He moves back to Chicago, and I'm like, okay, I have somebody I can trust. It's like getting on 9:30, and she's like, well, I have to go home. And she's high as fuck too, and her friend's sober as hell. She doesn't even smoke. And I'm like, dude, I gotta call Chico. And I called Chico. I wish I could go back to the messages and see what the hell I said. Because, nigga, I don't remember that much from this shit. But I remember calling Chico and saying, dude, you gotta come get me, bro. I'm high as shit. He already knew. He's like, all right. He didn't even say anything. He's like, where are you at? Dude, he didn't even say anything. He's just like, where are you at? Come on. Dude. Oh, my fucking God, bro. I think I have a clip of me being high as shit. I have a picture on Instagram of me being high as hell. It's when I have the blue jean jacket on and the blue undershirt, and I'm in a chair like this.
So long, my path has been so dark. Did you brothers set off in search of holding on?
What the fuck, bro?
And I look peaceful as hell because I'm high as a fucking kite. And also, if you notice in my music from last year, or Xan and the 9, Holly, all these songs I made last year that I include in my videos sometimes, all include drug talk. Like, it's actually insane because I made them while I was off the drugs. But back to the story. Chico comes and fucking scoops me. This fucking girl, she don't give a fuck. Like, I want to think, like, would she have called me an Uber that night? Because she'd always call me an Uber to come dick her down. But I don't know if she'd call Uber for me to be home safe. So, I don't know. It's kind of blurry because I was high as hell. So, it's kind of hard to judge somebody on that situation. But yes, long story short, Chico came and got me, slept over his house. His girl saw me fucking off the Xan. That's when Chico tried to snap into my head and try to like get me with this like slick talk. He'd get me with like, don't do drugs, kid. Don't do drugs, kids. Like, he'd say shit like that. Like, he'd say shit like, shh, that's that Xan shit. Bro, that's when I'm like, nigga, I have to stop. I cannot let Chico have this over me. That was one of the main reasons I stopped. But the nail in the coffin, we've gotten into how I gotten into it. We've gotten into how I got addicted, which was my depression. We've gotten into the signs I've seen. Like, we've gotten into the experience. Now let's get into the nail in the coffin that what the fuck got me out of it. It was one time I was having a funny ass conversation with my mom. And I just slipped up and I just told her, like, one time I had popped the X or something and da-da-da-da. And it was funny at first, but then she's laughing and then she just starts crying. Like, she starts fucking crying. Like, we had one of the funniest, best conversations I've ever had with my mother in my entire life. She just started crying out of nowhere, and she's just begging me. She's like, I hope it's not that B word, da 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 da. And I'm just like, oh man, she's catching on to me. She's like, I knew it, da 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 da. She's fucking crying like, oh, I've never seen my mom like this when it comes to me. I've never ever seen her like that when it comes to me being the fucking soul, the subject. She's crying on the floor because of me. She's begging me. She's like, please, Vil, I know that you're a grown adult. I know you're a grown-ass man, but please promise me you will never do that shit again. I said, I promise. And I just was looking at her like, Mom, I'm not addicted, trying to ease her down, try to calm her down. But she knows more than anybody knows the mental shit that I have battled. During high school, like sophomore year, I had my first girlfriend. I went through a breakup, and that summer, I didn't talk to my mom. I didn't talk to my sister. I didn't talk to anybody. Like, my mom knows how I handle depression, and she knows if I ever tried that shit while I was in a super deep depressed state, she knows that that shit probably would have hooked me. So she just was, I don't think my mom realized how much she helped me with just those little words. It was a small conversation. She just asked me, she said, please, Vil, please don't ever do it. I will make sure you have the most weed. I don't care if you start drinking, because at that time I wasn't a drinker at all. I hated drinking. She's like, I'll do whatever it takes. I said, you don't have to do a damn thing. I'll stop. And it influenced me so much to stop. I stopped smoking weed for a little bit even after that. I had to stop being scared to battle the real me. I had to stop being scared of battling who I really am when I'm not off of drugs. And if anybody is facing that, dude, you're going to have to battle yourself. You can't run from that emotion. You just can't. You cannot. So the best thing to do is to get it over with. Get the crying over with. Get it out of your system. Get it over with, my nigga, because hiding from it for that long will just make the battle way longer. Because the battles I went through with Soberville, through that whole thing, the withdrawals I had, it was like, it was some of the darkest moments in my life, dude. And I don't think people understood because I never touched on it. I never said that I was addicted. I touched on it in my music. I touched on it in posts sometimes, like on Facebook or Twitter. But I never was straight on and said that I was addicted, which I was. And I will say it now. This is actually my first time actually admitting it. How I stopped, actually, like how I full on physically stopped, was I got her ass up out of here. I got that bitch, my old ex, the fuck out of here. I got her out because she was the most manipulative, spineless motherfucker ever. She told, all right, so this is when it gets a little dark. I know we've been here for a minute, but this is where it gets a little dark. Actually, I'm gonna save this for a story time for next time because we've been talking for 20 minutes, okay? That was my story about the Xanax. I'm sorry that I couldn't touch on more detailed parts, like when I was off the X in the beginning. But when you're off of the Xan, dude, I'm trying to tell you guys, the shit is like, it's not an enjoyable thing because you don't remember it. And then when you come back, you just want to be on it again, okay? It's like you just want to die. So that's why I love Peep so much. I fucking love, man. I love him so much. That could have easily been me. Every time I think of him, it really gets me sad, man. It really does. That could have easily been me. Especially with the story that I have for the next story time. And that story being that my ex gave me fake Xanax. Yes, she gave me fake pills, okay? And she knew full on that they were fake. So if you guys want this part 2, before we drop the documentary reaction, I'm gonna need you guys to like this up as much as you can. I don't need no sorries or anything like that, man. It's been a while. It's almost been 2 years. But I would just love for you guys to suggest more story times maybe. But this was just a very touchy, very close to home story for me, man. And the moral of the story is, if you're gonna try that shit, you have to know what you're getting yourself into. If you're gonna try that shit, make it a party thing, like a one-time party thing, like how as often as you drink. If you want to try that shit, make it as often as you do like LSD. Make sure it's real. Make sure it's authentic. Make sure it's an actual diagnosis to an anxiety. Not some fake shit that motherfuckers could get you off the street and kill you with. Like how she almost killed me with. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. I'm going to have my Scar Lord reaction tomorrow here on the channel. But it has been your boy, Velly. Too wise. See you guys in the next one. Love you guys.